You're listening to the Unreasonable Fridays Podcast Network.
Go ahead, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Welcome to another episode of AddSpace. I'm your host, Aaron Rand Freeman, but with me, the actual host, the owner proprietor, head of the art department, CFO, CEO, social media manager, lead project manager, head QA analyst, Elise Bacon. How are you?
I'm good. I am doing things, clicking the buttons, making phone calls, not cussing people out, doing the thing. I said that already. Let's go.
All right. And in support of Bacon's continuous blood feud with the state government of Washington, we have the creator of the Black Astronauts Podcast Network, Mr. Aaron Bapp Esquire. Sir, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Oh, Esquire.
Esquire. Esquire.
I don't know, man. You put me in a level that I might not be ready for yet.
No, it doesn't matter. He's got a vibe with it. Just
I
channel.
mean, he just does that. There's nothing you can do.
Channel your inner.
Accept your new role. It's over.
Channel your inner Esquire, and it will come out of you like a stand, like in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. You will suddenly have a lawyer emerge from your spirit, and it will lawyer in your stead.
That would be okay.
I mean,
like one of those black lawyers that's like on the billboard that can like kind of fight too. Like you know.
You mean like
having, who you talking.
Having invisible spiritual legal advice from your stand, your lawyer?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Aaron,
yes.
Watch how I mess with these two. Hey, I need to pick up like 50 more Moonlight Aether Sands. How y'all feel about helping me out?
You can go gather it your goddamn self. You literally have a minor. Go, be free.
I'm just messing with you. We've been crafting. So
there
that's
were two,
it. Just hanging out with these folks.
There were two people that you mentioned. The second person is the greatest father in the history of the African American community. Justin, here of his own volition, as a true example to his children and black children across the globe. Sir, how are you?
So, one, never ask me for anything ever again. I know that's a meme. I know Sakurai never actually said that. But I feel like after Smash Brothers Ultimate and all of the characters that were jam-packed into there, never ask me for anything ever again. But okay, I actually have I don't think I've told this story on this show. So I was dropping my son off at preschool. That's how long ago this was. We were actually attending school regularly with without the Panera bread outside. And I was wearing my Black Heroes Matter shirt that I picked up at Comic-Con. Again, that's how long ago this was. And this nice white lady sees me dropping off my son with my shirt and decides to make a point to tap my shoulder and say, "Your shirt should say, Black fathers are heroes."
Wait, somebody said that to you in public?
Yes.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No. It's causing me physical pain. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's a secondhand embarrassment bomb. That's a secondhand embarrassment bomb right there.
God.
It was terrible. Like Aaron, you can attest to this. The amount of praise we get for just showing up.
Oh my God! I remember when I used to raise my little niece. I would take her around, and she's a baby. I would just babysit like during the day, and it was my ex's niece, and the Russian ladies were so impressed by my ability to push a cart with a living baby in it every day, 5 days in a row. They were shocked by how alive that baby was. Like, I would take her out and we would, sit there and talk and, I'd sit there and watch her go about her business. And people were impressed that that baby was alive all 5 days in a row for months. Shocked even.
Oh, when we were doing Jamboree and it was me taking Jonathan, everyone there was like, "Oh my gosh, the father is present."
Jamboree is the devil. Jamboree is the worst. It is the worst place on earth, man. No, I almost got in a fight at Jamboree. We ain't gonna talk about that.
It's one step removed from the Chuck E. Cheese. It's
real Chuck E. Cheese. It's like, if it was alcohol at Jamboree, might be a different story. They right though. Like, I used to get praise for, like keeping the baby alive. I took her to Target one time. The white women asked me if I needed help because she had to change her diaper, and I was like, no, it's mine. I made it.
Realize that I've you may not be aware of this, but I've actually done this before.
Don't know if you know, I didn't steal this baby. This baby came with me.
Steal the baby.
That's where the bar is. The bar is literally existing.
Not you didn't steal the baby.
She looked just like me. Like, don't surprise. Like,
she does though.
She do look exactly like you, bro.
I know her mom is upset. There's none of her in that baby. I know the feeling. When Jonathan came out, my mom showed me a picture of me at Jonathan's age, and it's Jonathan. I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
Yeah, she's starting to look like a little more like Kendra now. But whew,
okay,
those first 7 years, I was like, I don't know, man. We all
dicey.
Roll the dice. Maybe I did all this myself. I don't know.
But you were just a transport vehicle. This is actually all of my work.
Listen, apparently that never stops happening. As I approach 40, I look more and more like my mother. Still, I look like my dad, and now I look more and more like my mother as time passes, and it's very, very funny, and I don't know how that is. So apparently it's just an ongoing process of genetic dominance, a genetic arm wrestling contest going on within each of us until we die, or one of the vaccines turns into. What you say? What'd you say?
Turn us into what?
I said, or one of the vaccines we have to take turns us into pterodactyl monsters.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Oh my God!
Would we actually be able to fly?
Oh my God! That would be phenomenal.
Can you imagine? Like, it'd be like one of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pterodactyls, like from the video game, like Turtles in Time.
Well,
I want to be a pterodactyl.
Well, I assume that, right around the 12th megapox vaccine we have to take in about 8 years, one of them is going to go wrong.
You mean like 8 months?
Yes.
Hello. There's still a pandemic happening.
Yes, we're still in the next one, and one of the vaccines are going to go wrong, and we're going to start turning into Resident Evil monsters. And I'm going to be happy that I did it of my own volition. I'm be very pleased with my mutant powers. What I hope to do is kind of lord over like the community center and like trap people and take them there, and then like have a key for the main character, so the main character has to deal with me in the community center where I drag all my prey to get the key for something important. That's what I'm hoping for. But that's down the road.
So smart zombies. That's what we're going with.
I don't need, just like I said before, just monsters you have to deal with. Like, I don't need to be smart. I need to be dealt with. Like, I need you to think about what's happening. Like, you walk into an area and like something happens, like a car gets thrown, and then I look at you from a rooftop, and then I would go back to the rooftop, and after about an hour of gameplay and mechanics and resource management, you're going to have to deal with me. That's what I want. I don't need to be smart. I don't need to talk. I just need to be a presence, a solid presence.
You need to be a mid-tier boss.
Right. That's all. It's
absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
You need a fuse to start the train to get out of Midtown. There's a fuse someone's guarding it. It's me. I throw cars. I take a lot of bullets. I run after you. So I'll just, make my presence felt. I'm a person. That's really the point. Even after I'm a mutation, I'm still a person. And with that, we will segue into how everyone is enjoying themselves and what they are playing. Bacon. I like asking Bacon because Bacon's playing the same thing.
Literally in Final Fantasy 14 as we speak, trying not to die.
What?
Well, so okay, you're in 14. I actually have a question for you about 14. So we're in a new patch. We are 2 weeks into the new patch now, and 14 has changed how they release their Savage content. Savage is
this is a test though. This isn't, we don't know if it's permanent. So I have to disclaimer.
So they are testing out a potential new rollout of their Savage content. Savage content is their in-game content, their harder in-game content. And instead of releasing it when patch released, they released it a week after the patch. And they said, we're experimenting. We want to see how it goes. And as our resident Savage Raider, Bacon, how do you feel about this change?
It's so much better. I'm so much less stressed. Because usually all the crafting recipes and all of the everything, it all drops the same week as Savage. And it always makes the story content drops, the extreme trial drops, which has a weapon that you could use for Savage. The crafting recipes that have the crafted gear for that is used for Savage also drops. There's new, and those crafting recipes also include items that have to be bought with a currency that you get from running dungeons, but there's a new currency, so you're starting with nothing. You start with 500 if you had capped your tomestones before the patch dropped. And so it makes it a mad rush to get through everything to unlock Savage, to get Savage ready. And it just makes those first couple of days the most stressful thing ever. Because you're also gearing, if you're a crafter, you're not just gearing yourself, you're probably gearing other people. I don't know a crafter that's only working on their own stuff.
But also,
then there's market board prices.
You also have the factor that you gear to FC. If you didn't gear to FC, that would be a totally different factor.
No, it'd still be awful.
Well, you still be,
even before we had members to gear, it was still extremely stressful.
Right. No. I'm not saying not as far as stressful, but I'm saying the amount that you had to do or you volunteered to do is an added stress. That's I wish they understood what it takes to craft one set of armor, right? It's not just one or two pieces. It's 7 or 8 rare pieces with.
Yeah, I feel like some people get it because they they see me online all day.
Right. Yeah.
And they see Justin on all day, and we're like, oh, you're literally gathering and crafting all day.
I spent the first 2 days
and then
of
you
the
go
patch
and
playing.
go and do high-end content so that you can get stuff
Mhm.
ready for your own shit. But again, you have to still do story stuff in order to unlock the content that needs to get done. And since I said, I also do the Savage rating, patch day is one of the most stressful days. I spend weeks before patch day getting ready for patch day. So it was nice having a breather. The market board prices were relatively stable for multiple days. They also had upped the gathering and crafting gear requirements so that it wasn't just so people were just unprepared for it, which also made the market board prices a little bit more stable.
Yes, it
I
did.
made bake.
So much money.
I had to stop on working on crafting for money as well, but I still came out net 40-50 million.
Like,
no, I didn't touch fit.
I gambled with my meld for my gathering. And apparently I gambled the opposite direction of everybody else, because when I logged in, I just see everyone said, "Oh, my melds are wrong." And I was like, that means mine are right. Ooh, buddy.
Yeah, so what people did is they went for GP and gathering and not perception, or they
And
went
that's all I did.
or they went too far perception and didn't have enough gathering.
Yeah.
And I've always done my gathering melds. I don't follow the BIS melds for that get posted like ever, because it just they don't make sense to me. So I always balance out my gathering and perception, but I do make my perception a bit higher, but not like a lot higher. And it was just like, my melds are perfect. Even
Yeah.
for my crafting recipes, the melds that I had for my crafted set, perfect.
Like for gathering, my GP with food would get to 900. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
900. That's good. I don't. There's no need to go like 910, because everything is increments of 100.
Yeah, and even like there's one ability that's 50. Like it doesn't. You can't get to 950. You can't get to 1,000. So just stay at 900.
So I just went perception and then got my gathering to like 3 to 35, 3550. Oh yeah, I was in that sweet spot. So yeah, we cleaned up.
And those nodes was every time you was hitting them, you was basically getting half a level of spirit bonding. Like every time you hit one of those rare nodes, I was getting so much money just getting
Oh yeah.
selling
Why do you
material.
think I was like Why do you think I bought a whole bunch of spirit bond FC actions? I was like, bitch, we're like materia selling for everybody.
Right.
So what we're saying is, if your FC wasn't taking care of you, if your FC wasn't out here gearing you, giving you those spirit bonds, you could get more materia as you gather and as you craft, come to death row. That's all I'm saying. Just come to death row.
Fucking dork.
And I'm just saying, we got a nice squad over here. We doing things over here, you know.
You know what though? It really is a nice like mix of people. Like we got some crafters, we got some gatherers, we got some people that do everything, we got some people that kind of don't really do anything, we got some newbies, we got some old. Like it just like it's a genuinely good time. Like I'm very happy I joined, and maybe one day I'll finish the near raids.
Nigga, you joined for the near raids.
I know. I finished them. I think I finished them at the beginning of last year, middle, and whenever the last patch came out before 7.0 or 6.0. Excuse me.
No idea. What number are we on? My brain is fried. Like
6.2.
I've been crafting so much, and then I've also been farming content for gear, and I have a because Final Fantasy 14 has loot lockouts as well. So like I have an alt so I can practice in Party Finder, which is just like you're queuing up, you're pre-forming parties with random people so that you can run the high-end content. But because of loot lockouts, if I get it clear like on my main account, it fucks over my static entirely. But I'm also a person that learns by smashing their head into things. So I set up an alt so that I could just go in Party Finder and learn the fights and learn mechanics without screwing over my static. And I've also been working on gearing up my alt because I need gear on that alt in order to do the content.
Didn't you just start that alt? How did you get to 90 so quick?
I level skipped and story skipped.
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
yeah, so it takes you up to Endwalker and takes you to 80. So I only went from 80 to 90, but I also leveled Bard from 1 to 90 in like less than a week.
Hell no. Oh,
because I decided to learn it on DPS because there's more DPS slots open than like healer slots open.
So you want to talk about Insidious?
Yeah.
In preparation for the new Savage tier, Squeenix said, "Oh yeah, having a huge sale on Mog Station. Level skips are also on sale." Allegedly this is in line with the 9th anniversary of Final Fantasy 14. But
Level skips are not on sale.
Oh, they're not on sale.
Everything but level skips. The Fantasias are on sale, and all of the glamour is on sale, and the mounts are on sale. Anything that's not an event item or level skip.
I thought they were reaching Game Pass levels of Insidious of just, hey, you need alts for the raid? Here you go.
No, they don't. They don't usually do that because they don't actually. They don't promote having alts, even though they know people have alts, because the game isn't really set up so that you have alts. Although if you do purchase retainers, it is account wide.
Yeah, I figured that out when I started on a different server. Well, not a different server, a different I can't think right now.
Yeah, I found out on my housing alt, so I'm moving all of my housing items to Lee because I can just have 10 retainers of just housing items on Lee.
What do y'all think about the story? I mean, without getting into, details and all that.
If you're a fan of Final Fantasy IV, just go ahead and buy 14. There you go.
They just
buy 14.
They sprinkle so much 4 in there.
It's not even the sprinkle. It's just 4. It's just 4. The entire patch is like 4.
I'm ashamed of myself. When they leaked the dungeon name, it didn't click with me.
Yes. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh. Like it all hit me at once. But yeah, it's been great, man. I really do enjoy how they tell their story. It's just they do everything right in various ways. Like, did y'all know Soken actually got the actual stems from the original FF14 battle track? Like, he got the actual ones that were in archive to use. Like,
that does not surprise me. That man is so fucking detailed.
That is incredible.
Right. And it jams. Oh my God. It jams so hard. So, yeah. I loved it.
Does that mean that Final Fantasy is what you've been enjoying as well, Bap?
Yeah, but I also have one other thing. Midnight Fight Express. I think I messaged you about it. Have you checked that out at all?
I've downloaded it.
It reminds me of Batman. Like, it has the Batman combat, right? But a little deeper. What's the shooter that you wore pig mask and you were going around?
Hotline Miami.
It reminds me of a 3D Hotline Miami, and I'm very much enjoying it. It's violent. Like I said this in the Discord, the gunshots, when you pick it, like when you actually pick up a pistol and you actually get one and you shoot it, it feels fucked up. Right? Like, I've never felt that experience. Like, first time I did it, I was like, pow, I was like, oh, well, I didn't ever experience that before. And it's because of the flow of the fight, and how rarely you get them until later on in the game. So, but yeah,
Okay, I'm down for it. I have it sitting on my Xbox. Handful of Game Pass games, of course, just sitting there, as everyone's Xbox has about 4 or 5 Game Pass games just sitting there on the bench in warm-ups, just chatting with each other.
Pentiment just downloaded today. I had no idea I even thought that it was coming that soon.
Oh, what game?
Just downloaded. Pentiment.
What is Pentiment? I've seen the name. What is it?
It's like a RPG, but it's in like that art style that they're showing on the cover. It's like that art style.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to do like a Game Pass walkthrough on some of these games, because there are a handful of games that are intriguing, and we might need to come together and play some of them and tell people.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk about AddSpace Shipbreaker some more. I know I talked about it in the Nerd Off, but I just cannot remember if I talked about it on this show.
You did not. You talked about a Nerd Off, I believe.
Ye-
Yeah, you talked about it on the Nerd Off. We didn't get around to it. Comes out on Xbox, I think, next week or the week after that.
Next week.
Next
I was
week.
like, it's been on. Oh, I thought it's been on Xbox, or has it just been PC
It's
Game
been
Pass?
it's been PC Game Pass, and now it's going to be on Xbox a little bit.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I've been streaming it. If anybody's interested, but I've been playing a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
You've been blowing up. Pow.
Quite literally. Quite literally. These fuel tankers are good money, but fuck my life.
Quite literally, they don't care about it. Justin, what have you been playing?
I've been crafting hell and gathering hell for the last couple of weeks, but now that I have time to myself, I've actually been playing Saints Row, and despite what reviews are saying, it's enjoyable, it's fun, it's a Saints Row game. Like it's basically a reboot of Saints Row 3. Unfortunately, like from a mechanical standpoint, it plays like Saints Row 3, like it plays like a PlayStation 3 game. It's an open world shooter with no cover mechanic, so that was a design choice. The graphics look like a PS3 era game, but again, if that's the look you're going for, there's ways to do that and not make it look outdated, but it's also fine. Like, it's enjoyable, it's fun.
Not make it feel bad.
Yeah, like there's ways to not make it feel bad. It is not the, like, I think set, like, it's average, it's fine. You know, it's definitely fun with a person. Like, if you have a friend playing with you, it's definitely more fun than just playing by yourself. And that's how I've been playing it. Like, I've been playing co-op, and it's been really fun just like screwing around in this wacky world. But it's a Saints Row game. Like,
So
people wanted. Oh, go ahead.
I got a question, because and just hear me out on this. Of course, Xbox bias, whatever. In a world where Game Pass exists, is it worth buying? Like, is it
at full price? Absolutely not.
Okay.
At full price, absolutely not. Catch it on like I'd pay $20. Like, it's a $20 game. Like, I think that's fair. I think a lot of the ire towards this game is they wanted it to be Saints Row 2. And you're never getting another Saints Row 2. If you want Saints Row 2, go play Grand Theft Auto Online, because Grand Theft Auto Online is basically Saints Row 2 now.
Oh my god.
I feel like just wanting another Saints Row, but like not necessarily Saints Row, because I didn't have I didn't have like an issue with Saints Row 3 except for some narrative stuff. But like an updated Saints Row. Like, if it's
well, and that's what this attempts to be. Like, they take out the problematic juvenile humor and just double down on wackiness. Right? Like, they double down on the absurd, they double down on their type of social commentary, right? Like, Grand Theft Auto tries to be a satire of capitalist America, right? Grand Theft Auto 5 actually does it really cleverly while also making fun of themselves and just that style of game. Saints Row the reboot is, you're broke, you got to pay student loans, and you're doing whatever you can to get by until eventually you're just like, you know what? Why don't I just start a crime family? And like all of the absurdity, of video games and like that narrative, they at the same time lampshade and play straight. And I think that is very clever. Like, the narrative here is very clever. I think another issue people had with this is the characters are likable. Now, here's what I mean by that. Your core crew, they all have their endearing qualities. Like, your crew isn't a bunch of jerks. Saints Row 1, 2, 3, your crew was it was like the crew of Archer. They were your friends, but they were also a bunch of jerks. This is like, no, these are actually like genuinely good people, and you actually like hanging around with them. The crew of the original Saints Row was like, oh, these are a bunch of jerks, and I enjoy watching them be jerks.
That's usually one things I had noticed. I was like, saying that these people are a little awkwardly written, but they're not assholes. And I think people wanted the assholes, the original Saints, because they were absolutely terrible Rick and Morty style Jerks.
Yes, yeah.
I
And
can hate that shit.
right.
And that's what they wanted. And like I do like how Saints Row 3 kind of takes that and lampoons it. Like Rick and Morty kind of plays it straight. Archer, the gag is no, they're awful and everybody knows they're awful and they're awful to each other. That's the gag. Saints Row 3 kind of goes the Archer route versus Saints Row 2, which is like Rick and Morty. It's like, oh, they're jerks, but it's justified. It's like, no, they're jerks, and everyone knows they're jerks, and they should feel bad for being jerks.
I argue that Saints Row 3 might have been one of the best games that year.
Oh yeah,
like overall gameplay, like even that story, they made them assholes likable. And who would have fucking thought you would like Shandy from Saints Row 2? Like what?
the best decision they did was revamping Shandy's character and not explaining not explaining why they revamped it.
Not at all.
They just completely took the stoner fan service girl and turned her into Lana Kane. No
They
question.
did. It's
And then
fucking
you said, yep,
hilarious.
she's Lana Kane now. Are you gonna explain why? Nope. Okay,
Saints-
cool.
Saints Row the Third is like a good Fast and the Furious movie. It just
That's
keeps
exactly what it is.
dumber and dumber and dumber until it's like, okay, well, fuck it, I'm in now. Like, let's just let's go to the moon. I don't care. Sure.
Like
We're gonna go into the internet. Sure.
the first mission in Saints Row 3 is you taking over a penthouse set to Kanye West power.
Yes. Skydiving.
Skydiving.
While
Like,
shooting people.
Infinite ammo is a thing. It's not even a bonus. It's like a thing the game will just give you. Like, here's infinite ammo. We know why you're here. Just take it here.
So I have a question though.
And
Do you think that they're building towards, because I realize like, all this, general anger towards a new group of guys, but like the original Saints Row compared by where they wound up versus where they started, it's a similar leap. You know what I'm saying? Like they tried to play it sort of kind of straight, and then by the end they just were off. There was absolute Fast and the Furious, but do you think they're building towards that again?
Yeah,
I feel
because
like
you
that's what-
start Saints Row 3 as the fucking precedent.
Right. So it's like because I remember playing it, just the journey of the Saints is fairly insane. It's like some people were complaining, but I'm like, I think they might be redoing that journey again. And
Right.
so
I don't think it's going to end with you becoming president, but because like they've already done that particular route, but it's a
We're gonna be Elon Musk, but better.
That's basically what it's leading up to. Yes,
We're gonna be
And-
Fast and the Furious in space.
and like that's the kind of game Saints Row is now. It's Fast and the Furious.
That's what I
And-
want. I want more Fast and the Furious. Honestly, I think in general, just like a lot of devs, like if you notice, like all of the games right now are kind of like not what expected quality wise, and I just have to be like, we're in a fucking pandemic. Like, games take years to make. What's been happening the last 2 years? Like, I don't know what to tell you all. Like, it's
know who
just
figured that
gonna
shit
be
out?
rough right now. Like, music's up because everybody was locked in, and you can be locked in a fucking studio forever solo. But like, games are just like massive collaborative things, and it's just been a mess the last 2 years. And again, how long do you think games take to make? It takes 2 years to make. 2 to 3 years. So
No,
I
got
think
that shit
we're
figured
just gonna
out.
continue having some quality issues.
Bungie got it figured out. I'll say. Them
Well, I
motherfuckers
mean, Bungie's
hiring on
also.
top of hiring on top of hiring right now.
I
They got it
mean,
figured out.
honestly, we won't know with Bungie until after they have like out a new IP. But like, Bungie's also been suffering from like some issues. The only thing that they've got it easy is that like Destiny is like a game. Like Destiny's already built. They're just adding to it. Like these were new
Yeah,
games in production.
the things they're doing to this game, maybe Aaron can speak to a little better than I can. Like story wise and usage of like the content, the way they're doing it, it feels like a little different. It's a little more investment than it had been previously. And I don't know where it came from, but like this last campaign was amazing. You know, it felt more put together, and it that was during the pandemic. So That's more what I was talking about.
Right.
It's
I'm
just-
I'm talking technical quality.
It will
Yeah.
take a a
Like
minute.
like I said, the game's already made. They're like the worst of the bugs are already worked out because it's not a new game.
Yeah, we won't see anything until they make an actual proper shift. Like maybe if they, whenever say Destiny 3 happens, or if they do anything bold and are like, all right, fuck everybody on old gen consoles for one of these expansions, and then we'll see kind of a bit of a lift. But right now they're just kind of in rhythm. A lot of what you're talking about is just direction, artistic direction. Destiny is a better story being told. It's a better game being framed for the player in terms of game design. But none of that is, like I said, like we haven't seen the Sony money really hit the account yet because now they're still just circulating it and hiring people. We don't know what it looks like yet. They're still building the wing that they had to take down when Activision stopped paying them. So
Well, I was talking more in the way of collaboration because I thought we were talking more in the lines of collaboration, being in the studio together. And since they've been on the pandemic, Bungie has still been kind of like away from each other. They haven't been able to get to each other in that way. That's more of what.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
they have. Oh
kinda
yeah, they
talking-
definitely are. Most of Bungie still work from home. I don't think they're going to stop doing that for the foreseeable future. You're absolutely right.
Right.
Yeah, I think that just leaves me. In the interest of time, I'll give you guys enough space. I just want to say that Konami tried. I finally got the Cowabunga collection. Every Ninja Turtles game ever released by Konami all at once. Full disclosure, one of the reasons why I could never enjoy Shredder's Revenge is because it took from so many Turtles games I wanted to play at once. I wanted to play those games. I played through Shredder's Revenge twice, and I said I would like to play through Hyperstone Heist and Turtles in Time more than a little bit. And the Super Nintendo version, the arcade version, I wanted to play through those. They brought out all of those, and having played through a chunk of each, I feel much better. It has the most features personally for me personally. Like there might be some holes. I haven't played every single title compilation, but out of all the Konami ones, it definitely has the most in it. It's got box art from the original games, advertisements from the original games, game manuals scanned. You can scroll through them. Reviews like Electronic Gaming Monthly reviews of the Ninja Turtles games, soundtracks, comics over the last 30 years, TV shows over the last 30 years, concept art for all the games, and a very interesting mode called Watch that lets you watch a flawless playthrough of the game. You're just in case you say, if you might have made the moral and stylistic move to not play a Game Boy game. Like, I didn't realize there were 2 other Ninja Turtles games on Game Boy. I don't want to play a Game Boy game, though. I appreciate them for existing. I don't want to do that. Fortunately, I can watch a perfect playthrough of them. And it's very clever. Also, do you know how the original arcade game, Turtles in Time, used to have those moments where, toll booths, where the difficulty spikes so hard that it costs you $2 or $3 extra bucks to get through. And the only way you would know is if you played it enough to memorize those bits. Those games have the options of turning that off. It's called a penalty bomb. And seeing the option of being able to turn that off, it vindicated my inner child. My inner child was like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme, just pointing at the screen. The beer. Like, that's why it costs us $10 to be Ninja Turtles. That shit.
Furious. Just furious.
That's why. So
I didn't even know what you were talking about Turtles of Time. That's how hard it was for me to even think about that concept of like it being more Turtles of Time in Turtles of Time.
yes.
I was blown away when you told me. I was blown away.
Yes. So it is Konami. I have not seen Konami try in this hard in a decade at least. I assume that because it's the Ninja Turtles license, someone I assume that this is a high quality. This is high quality under threat of violence. Like, this is not Konami acting under their own. Like, this is not under their own volition. Like, someone fought hard for the quality of this collection of games to be as good and complete as it is. But it is definitely worth it. If you are a Ninja Turtles fan, old gamer, you will like something here because you played something here. You had to have. It's particularly rewarding. I don't know if anybody else got the Ninja Turtles games on Nintendo, because the Nintendo games versus the arcade games the disparity was so large that even as a child I knew this was bullshit.
It was, yeah, it was literally it was literally just a different game. I never knew how to play them. Like, the super level, I would get there and just be like, okay, I'm done.
That's another thing. You can also see a perfect playthrough of the original Ninja Turtles game, which is notoriously difficult. So, I don't know if you remember that underwater swimming section. Some people will.
Yeah.
The level where you're underwater and you
absolutely.
defuse the bombs, but for some reason, even though you were a turtle, you swam like Mario for some reason. And you were under the gun, had no precise movement, couldn't touch anything, where the path was the exact size of your turtle. And you had about 3 minutes to defuse all these bombs, so you couldn't sit there and wait. That beat the hell out of Tiny Aaron. He never beat that level. Apparently, it's notorious. 4 people have mentioned that level when I brought up Cowabunga Collection for older gamers. So, yeah, I would say it is, if you care about any of those games, 100% instant purchase. It is well worth the $40. I thought $40 was a little steep until I had it, and I think $40 is a perfect price for it. Absolutely.
Yo, this is the studio that made that Space Jam New Legacy arcade game, and they also made that. Remember the Street Fighter Anniversary collection that came out a few years back?
Yeah.
They made that, and they made, like, these dudes or these people are doing good work because they did the Mega Man Legacy collection. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what
Absolutely.
it is? I almost want to. I'm going to email, see if I can get an interview with them, because I wonder what the philosophy is behind remastering classic games is. You know what I mean? Like, I would like that discussion, because we always talk about, we understand modern game design, but what do you look for when you're trying to remake an older game? Like, what is the goal of the studio? Because, like, you see, I think it was Sonic. What was the last Sonic game that came out? It wasn't Sonic Mania, but there was a Sonic collection of games that kind of got pushed out by Sega before the developer was ready.
Sonic Origin?
Yeah, Origin.
Right.
Collection.
It got pushed out too fast. And the developers were like, yeah, they kind of forced our hand here. And they've been kind of backtracking and slowly patching the game now. And hearing the lead developer, he was very passionate about that. And that type of passion is fascinating to me. Like, it's like you're not making an IP, but you're recreating something that was, like, important to your childhood. It must be a different development experience. Like, I that is my goal.
Right.
Have one of those folks on the show, because I just want to hear, because it's got to be a passion project inherently. You don't remake all the Sonic games. What you say?
We'll talk after the show, because I actually know who you should email.
Oh, okay, let's go.
That would be dope.
Let's
We might have the in. Speaking of all of this content and referencing back to earlier Final Fantasy, I have to go murder things.
All right. I think
It is I have to go grief my static, be toxic, and just let everybody die to not enough heals, because apparently that's the healer meta right now, is not healing or DPSing. Just standing there looking cute. Might be some shade.
I just want everyone
It's been, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Like, it's been wild out there right now. I'm
It's
sitting here
been-
like,
even in normals,
what is going on?
Like, in normals, they just looking you off, like, whatever.
They're
They
not
got
healing or
support.
doing damage. I don't know what they're doing.
And that is the work that goes into the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. In between raiding and crafting, Bacon's like, we need more content. And then Bacon bang their fist on the table to get the fuck on this call. We're going to record a show until I got to be on with my stat. I got to do this raid. Now the raid is here. And real fast.
But I also do raid to create more content. I'm always doing content forever.
Content.
Never ending content.
All right, folks. Does anyone want to add anything real fast before we wrap it up? This turbo episode, pre-raid episode of ADD Space.
Aaron, Justin.
Everybody done fell out.
No, I just wanted to make sure Bacon had the killing time.
All right.
So
it is killing time.
All right.
It's killing time.
I
More
feel like
like
this may
dying
have
time.
been a turbo, but we got good content. We discussed in-game development philosophy with 14 and how staggering is helping the player community, and hopefully they keep that. We talked Saints Row, gave a quick rundown of why it's getting review bombed. Of course, obvious reason it's getting review bombed is, like I said, I kind of yada-yada'd it, but they did take out a lot of the problematic humor that Saints Row was famous for, and they definitely made it more inclusive, which is what they've been doing since Saints Row the Third. That's also another reason why, but
Yeah. So a lot happened. We did the thing. Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you guys for listening, and have a pleasant day.
Go ahead, stand up, stand up, stand up.